Welcome back to the fourth episode within this series where we're basically uploading content to help you lose fat for long-term progress. So if anything you see resonates with yourself on this channel, make sure you subscribe. Now, most people fail the fat loss journey because they rely on one thing, and that's motivation. You start off strong, meal prepping, exercising regularly and feel unstoppable. But then life happens, work stress comes along, bad weather, and suddenly the motivation vanishes. Now, if this is feeling familiar to yourself, you're not alone. A lot of people do it. Now, the problem itself isn't necessarily you, it's the motivation which comes and goes all the time. So in this video, we'll explore how to lose fat without depending on motivation, building systems that create long-lasting results, regardless of how you may feel on any given day. So why will just relying on motivation not help with your fat loss goals? Now, it's temporary by nature. Motivation is quite like the weather some days. Some days it's sunny and perfect, and other days it's chucking it down and you just want to stay inside and do nothing. Now, motivation is basically simply a dopamine with that feel-good factors, which is like any other high you have, it will just eventually disappear. And with motivation, if you are just purely relying on motivation to achieve your fat loss goals, it is inconsistent results. You are just quite simply just going to be turning up when you're feeling motivated and obviously not when you're feeling down. So imagine if a construction worker only showed up to build a house on sunny days. House would never really get finished, but if real professional shows up, come rain or come shine, and that's exactly how fat loss works. If you are turning up every single day, ticking those boxes that need to be done, you are going to achieve the results. Whereas if you are just turning up on days that you feel like it, I can guarantee probably 3 days out of the week, you're not going to be feeling like to do anything. So what can you do instead of just relying on motivation? Now, you can get some discipline within your life and create systems that last a lifetime. So being disciplined means you're doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's showing up for your workouts even if you've had a long day, when the couch is quite simply calling your name. But it's not about perfection, it's about consistency. So making sure you are turning up and ticking those boxes when the motivation fades. Now, what I mean by creating systems within your life, if you are basically creating habits, that kind of makes fat loss feel automatic in a way. These are routines that you will build up over time, and making healthy choices, and it won't feel like a chore by doing it. Having these kind of like effective systems in place will reduce friction for good habits and increase friction for the bad habits that may come up. It's not about necessarily feeling motivated, it's about making fat loss easy. Which it is a process that is easy. It's hard, but it is an easy process to do. So making sure you are consistent within that process, even when you're not necessarily feeling like it. So what can you do to make having discipline within your life easier? So you want to plan and make decisions ahead of time. So that comes down to your meal planning. So decide what you'll eat either the day, weeks before, just rather than grabbing whatever's easiest when you are hungry. You also want to schedule workouts like the meetings. So rather than just turning up, I've got a couple of hours spare here, turn up and do whatever needs doing. You've got an actual time that you're going to turn up and do what needs to be done. And you also want to prepare options. So having like healthy meals and snacks ready to obviously have, and you're not feeling stuck and nipping in the chocolate cupboard. Willpower for a lot of people is weak. So if you kind of have these options in place, it's going to make your journey a hell of a lot easier. It's kind of that out of sight, out of mind mindset. So if you're reaching in the cupboard and everything that you are just going to sit down and consume the whole packet of is right in front of you, chances are you are going to have it. Whereas if that's at the back of the cupboard, you've got some healthy snacks and options right in front of you, it's going to be a higher chance of you building some good habits of having those healthier snacks. So when I say block out times for the gym, it doesn't necessarily have to be every single day. Quite simply, it could just be 3 days a week. Like I say, as long as you are making these non-negotiables, then you're perfectly fine. You also want to try and get a daily step count as well. So maintaining that movement throughout the day, just so when you are kind of keeping track of things, you know, right, I'm sticking to 8,000 steps per day. What can we do to adjust it to make it a little bit easier? One thing as well with your fat loss journey is you want to, when you are sorting out your nutrition and everything, which again we'll cover in a different video, you want to try and keep protein as high as possible. Now this basically keeps you feeling fuller for longer and obviously going to recover your muscles once you've trained. But if you are including a high protein diet within your diet, your nutrition and your meals, then like I say, you're less likely going to snack and eat a full packet of sweets on an evening. Most people do fail because, like I said, within this motivation, they do think they have to do everything all at once. It's not. As long as you are making small changes every single day, within those changes, if you are building that into kind of like your daily routine, a daily habit, then as you start adding more small changes, it is kind of like a little bit of a scale. So starting off small, just making one small change, perfect, you're on track. Making another, you are just going to get into a nice little routine. So those sort of bad habits aren't necessarily at the forefront of your mind and thinking you have to go back to that. At the end of the day, your fat loss journey is about consistency, not perfection. If it was all about perfection, everyone would be doing exactly the same thing. You want to try and figure out something that's going to work for you. So even just making the slightest of change, if you are just getting yourself 1% better, 1% better, 1% better, then you are going to be on the right track for not only obviously achieving your goals, but keeping it off for long-term sustainability. So what you'll notice starting your fat loss journey, the biggest transformation is not just in your body, it's within your mindset and your identity. So motivated people do wait for the right time, whereas disciplined people will actually take action and start straight away, rather than just waiting for things to come around as and when. If you already act like the person who has kind of got where you want to be, the weight loss will actually naturally follow. This identity-based approach creates lasting change because it aligns with your actions and your self-image. So what I mean by that is when you are kind of acting who you want to be, it will just naturally come to you. So here's your action plan for the weekend. Now, the first one, I want you to schedule your week going forward for next week. So schedule your workouts, pick specific days and times that you can commit to and put it in your diary. Second one is plan all of next week's meals. So know exactly what you're going to have, when you're going to have it, to remove the kind of decision fatigue. Number 3, establish one brand new habit that you want to start next week. So choose one small action that you can consistently maintain, whether that be do 8,000 steps, start a new sport, whatever it may be. The people who succeed within fat loss don't have more motivation, they have better systems and habits. By taking kind of concrete steps to take, you're setting yourself up for sustainable progress that is going to last a lifetime. Remember, fat loss isn't about finding the perfect diet or workout plan. It's about creating a lifestyle that naturally aligns with who you are, what you currently do, and how you can make small habits to work within that. By building these systems, you'll never have to rely on just motivation alone.